What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are so excited. I hope you are pumped right now for the most action-packed hour you have ever received in your entire life. Why? Because this hour got it all, baby. Hope, inspiration, motivation, encouragement, empowerment, the whole nine, baby. So grab a chair, pull up a couple shots, let your hair down, and kick those shoes off, and get ready to receive the most jam-packed hour you have ever received in your entire life, baby. Let's go! Woo!
Hello, how y'all doing? Hi, Joseph. I hear that you have a show, not famous, and wish you good luck with your show, and I thank you what you're doing for your audience and your people that you're trying to make impression on their life. So good luck with your show, and thank you for all you do. Bye, Joseph.
Am I being overconfident? Am I becoming complacent about complacency?
I think you are.
Oh, he's not the Messiah, he's just a very naughty boy.
Yeah. JAFFE begin.
Brian doesn't want to see anyone else. Piss off!
That's the one. Because you literally complete me, and we complete each other.
You've obviously encountered discrimination in your own life by virtue of being Australian.
Hey, Manuel Kemp was a real pissant who was very rarely stable.
I don't want to get too gushy, but I might just be saying you complete me, Dean. PNG now stands for Pritchard and Good.
Branding is not a bad blind date. Look at you! You are insane!
How did I do that?
You're
How
insane!
did I do that?
You're insane!
Well, welcome everybody to another night of Joseph Jaffe is Not Famous. And how could I be famous when I have such amazing guests and correspondence and things to share with you tonight? It's another evening in paradise. It's another evening where I get to start off by showing you my oxygen level in my blood, I guess is the right thing to do, and just see if in fact I can get through the show or whether I'm going to be calling 911. Just kidding. Pulse looks like it's about 73, 74. I must be slightly excited, but oxygen is at 98. And that means, my friends, that the show will go on. The show must go on. And here is Manif, and he gives us a big smiley face. Manif, I've missed you, my friend, and I hope you enjoy just a wonderful, wonderful night that we have planned for you. Well, as always, we start off with free stuff. I give away my Jaffe coin to you guys every single night. And there is tonight's QR code. All you have to do right now is just shine your smartphone on that QR code, follow the instructions, and some Jaffe coin will be winging its way to you. You can see all the different links on the bottom. You can find out how to get yourself some Jaffe coin. You can also find out how to get yourself a Jaffe NFT. And of course, my guest tonight, Jackie and Tanya, you will be getting the not for sale, not available in stores, golden VIP NFT, and I will ABC XYZ, which is my way of saying thank you to both of you for coming on the show, especially at 9 p.m. at night. Last week, of course, I was meant to be entertaining Steve Garfield, Rachel D'Alto, Elaine Powell, and Glenn Lundy, but I was taken ill with a certain spiked protein, and I'm happy to say, if all goes well, I will be allowed outside tomorrow, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I will join the real world again. Not that I don't enjoy our little virtual metaversian existence, but you know, last night Evan Kirstel was on the show. Tonight we focus on the wonderful, wonderful Jackie Huba, and then tomorrow Grace Holden, who is guest number 300. since this little adventure began, and then Christina Sanderson on Thursday. And I certainly hope that you will join me next week, the week after, and then I'll take a little break until January 10th and recharge and maybe just reinvigorate because I need a little bit of a break. But not quite yet, because tonight I speak to an old friend, and I mean that figuratively, and find out about her incredible journey and story that brought her here tonight. And we will talk to Jackie Huba. And then Tanyé SøL. Tanya, normally I like to put a crown on my guests, but you already have a crown on you. And so Tanyé, she is a creator, an R&B neo-soul singer and songwriter, and she will grace us with a single of hers that she actually launches tonight. So I am honored and I am humbled. And now it's time for the seated soliloquy. And tonight's seated soliloquy is called Matters, just Matters. Manif, by the way, adds, he says, I hope it's not serious, but it's good you're on top of that. Keep that oxygen high. And Stephen Rubin says, feel better, man. Well, I am energized by my community, by my family. And I mean that my community is my family. So let's get into the soliloquy, which is called, as I said to you earlier, it is called Matters. My guest tonight went from corporate marketing to managing celebrity drag artists. So will we talk about swivels, shifts, pivots, or reinvention? And the secondary point, and it's a big one, it's never too late to make the move. Furthermore, can you make it voluntarily, or do you need to be pushed? Perhaps we will discuss this, and perhaps we won't discuss any of these things at all. Instead, maybe we'll talk about having fun, passion, purpose, and recognizing that no one ever said on their deathbed, I should have spent more time in the office, or these days, I should have spent more time on Zoom. It struck me that there might be a different angle in all of this. Whether you're managing celebrity drag artists, hosting a talk show, or something else, is this what we were meant to do? Is this what we were born to do? Is this our becoming? Again, does it matter? Is this a temporary layover on the worldwide tour de force, a stepping stone, a means to an end, or in fact, have we arrived? One more time, does it matter? I know we're not meant to knock what we can't afford, but it's still a lot cooler to introduce myself as a talk show host rather than a brand marketer, a consultant, an author, and a global keynote speaker, whatever the hell that means. It's also fairly cool to tell people that I have my own cryptocurrency, but that's another soliloquy for another day. The search for meaning can be as complicated or as simple as you want it to be. For some, it's a 9-to-5 corporate job. For others, it's a gig, while others get their energy from the startup or the entrepreneurial world. But my litmus test is fairly simple. Does it get you out of bed in the morning? Like, do you spring out of bed because you're so excited to take on the new day? Are you buzzing with ideas when you hit the shower? And if you think I'm going to say, is it the last thing you think about as you lay down that night to sleep? You'd be wrong. It shouldn't keep you awake at night with anxiety, worry, or uncertainty, even if it exists. In fact, you should be sleeping like a baby so you can take on the next day firing on all cylinders. And you know why? Because that matters. It matters. It finally matters. And now someone who matters to me, my guest, Jackie Huba. Jackie Huba is the author of 3 books on customer loyalty, including Creating Customer Evangelists, Citizen Marketers, and Monster Loyalty, How Lady Gaga Turns Followers into Fanatics. And let me tell you, these books are seminal books. These are foundational books, not just in my industry, but in the industry. Her latest book, which helps people with self-confidence issues, is Fiercely You. Be fabulous and confident by thinking like a drag queen. Jackie is the founder and president of Fiercely You Entertainment, a talent management and event production company. She's also the founder and president of Drag Out the Vote. I finally got the joke. It's not a joke, but I finally got it. A national, nonpartisan nonprofit that works with drag performers to promote participation in democracy. I assure you tonight is not going to be a drag. Let's say hello to her. Jackie Huba, welcome to the show.
Hey, Joseph, thank you. So glad to be here.
So now I've got to find, I've got lots of things I could give you, but we'll just go with the standard applause.
Thank you. I live for the applause, as Lady Gaga would say.
For someone that is so fabulous. By the way, Glenn is here. He said, "How are you, Joseph? So glad you're in front of the camera." And Manif now is changing my title to show host and JAFFE creator. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. How have you been? You are. We'll get to your story in a short while. But in general, how are you?
I am doing great. It's been a whirlwind the last couple of years, I think, but this is insane, incredible what I'm doing. I'm just so happy kind of where I am and what's going on. So feeling good.
And so we're not going to talk a lot about marketing and business, but the interesting thing, and we're talking in the green room earlier, is that you were saying where you are now and what you are becoming, your transformation, your evolution. It incorporates everything of you and every part of you. And I would love for you to tell us that story in just a brief moment. But today is actually, I always find it very appropriate. Today is International Day for Tolerance. It's certainly something that I feel, we all feel, we need much more of in our society, certainly in this country, to begin healing, to build bridges, and to be able to get to just a better, I think, more equitable solution where we can, in fact, join hands, whether we are red or we are blue. So happy International Day for Tolerance.
I love that. And it's also National Trans Awareness Week. So bringing awareness of what's going on in the trans community and issues with the trans community. So thank you for highlighting this. And I want to highlight that as well.
Absolutely. Well, I, as I was saying to you earlier as well, I'm just so fascinated by this journey, and we're going to get there in just a brief moment. By the way, someone is on LinkedIn and says, "Oh, and you too, hi Jackie, and oh, and you too, Joseph." Sometimes that people just come across as LinkedIn user, but I'm sure it's someone you know and someone that loves you. So you can just say, "Hello, LinkedIn user."
LinkedIn user.
Exactly. The first name is LinkedIn. The last name is user. Now, Jackie, we always like to go and find out some fun facts about our guests. And on the incredible shoestring budget here in Not Famous Studios, we don't always have the means, but we were able to go out into the field and find out that you are a massive Pittsburgh Steelers fan. You started and ran the Pittsburgh Steelers fan club of Austin for 12 years, one of the top fan clubs in the country. What makes you love the Pittsburgh Steelers so much?
Okay, first of all, let me applaud your Photoshop skills here.
I resent that accusation, but carry on.
I was born in Pittsburgh. Grew up in the 70s when the Steelers won 4 Super Bowls. So, I mean, if you're born in Pittsburgh, you're automatically a Steeler fan. But I was born in the golden era, of the Steelers when we won the 4 Super Bowls. And in every city I lived in, there was always a Steeler bar, a Steeler fan club, and I was always there. And then when I moved to Austin in 2007, there wasn't one. And but there was a little gathering of Steeler fans. And when I went, I was like, this needs to be a fan club. We need to make this a party, an event. And over 12 years, we grew it to 200, 250 people every single game. It was just an amazing group of people, so fun. We had a leadership team that ran our club. It was a blast. But I mean, it really, it was funny too, Joseph, because you think about like all of the things that I've studied about creating community and about, fans and all of that. And I was sort of able to bring all of that knowledge into it as well. So for me, it was also a little petri dish to try and use some of the theories and concepts that I used to talk about to marketers. So it was so fun. And I just moved to New York, and so I miss them a lot because now I don't get to see them every Sunday.
You're fairly close to them, aren't you? It's a puddle jump to get to Pittsburgh, isn't it?
Well, in Austin. So sorry, I missed my group in Austin as well.
Oh, okay. But now you're closer to that to actually go and see the Steelers.
I am. I could. I think I'm like 5.5 hours in New York to Pittsburgh. I haven't been back since I moved here in May. Road
trip. So anyway, I will join you one day if you're ever looking for someone who will be your tailgate partner. Now, Manif says, shout out to Pennsylvania. And we did find out who LinkedIn user was. It was Len Herstein himself.
Oh, hey, Len. Nice to see you.
So shout out back to Len as well. Well, normally what I do is we go into a whole bunch of other things now that we found out about your Pittsburgh stealing background. But one of our correspondents, in fact, on Tuesday and Wednesday now, he's enjoying it so much, is Mr. Brian Fanzo, iSocial Fans. And so he's going to give his weekly correspondent clip on all things crypto and metaversian and NFTian. And I figured, why not, considering we're talking about Pittsburgh, show it right now.
What's up, friends? Brian Fanzo, iSocial Fans here. And today I feel like talking a little bit about, all of this noise around Web3 and cryptocurrency and NFTs and the metaverse and creator coins like a JAFFE coin. Get yourself one. Part of the conversation comes down to what does this all mean? Is it going to stick around? And here's my answer to this entire scenario. And I think it's important for us to kind of think about is really all four of those, right? So we have crypto, metaverse, NFTs, creator coins. All four of them, in my personal opinion, are just entry points into getting us into this decentralized thinking of blockchain and really Web 3.0, the creator economy. And what I mean by that is what it requires us to do is rethink and really reimagine the way that we approach things like sharing of value online, building community, and even how do we signal to the world the communities and the things that we believe of and that we are a part of. And really that's where NFTs, that's where crypto comes in. And I look at creator coins like the JAFFE coin, or I have the ADHD coin, as a great entry point for people to not only get used to this idea of digital currency and crypto, but also seeing the value of things like utility, which really just means what are the additional benefits that I get because I'm holding this NFT or because I have these coins in my portfolio. And so those elements are the next way of thinking. And the crazy part is this past week it happened to me, and I think it's the greatest use case ever. I bought the domain back in March of this year, fanzo.eth, and I bought it from the ENS domain service, which you have to buy through crypto. And I just bought it because I was like, I'm a domain guy. I should be able to hold on to all of these. And the company had just exploded and did so well. They decided to give everybody that bought one of those domains before Halloween tokens as kind of an appreciation and really to show this like decentralization aspect, saying, hey, you guys own part of this company because if it wasn't for you guys buying these domains, it wouldn't be, the company wouldn't be where it was today, which, let's face it, that's most companies. And the interesting thing was, I bought the domain for about $400, and based on the things that they were doing, they deposited tokens that were worth over $8,000 into my account. I mean, imagine if you were one of the early drivers of Tesla, or maybe you were the Tesla drivers when they started rolling out on Uber, and if Tesla would have given you part ownership because, well, they wouldn't be where they were if it wasn't for you. It's kind of interesting. That's the decentralized world we're getting to, and that's what crypto, blockchain, NFTs, and your creator coin like the JAFFE coin is going to take us. hope you guys are inspired by that. You know, I say pick one of the 4 lanes. I know we're both a little biased towards this idea of creator coins, but look at each one of them and understand where do they fit in your world. And the best thing you can do is get started right now. And that's also what I'm doing with my podcast, NFT 365, available every single day, a daily podcast where I'm going to cover all kinds of topics like this. So make it a great day, my friends. And did I mention you should go get a JAFFE coin? Cheers.
See, I didn't know he was going to do that. I actually, he might have actually recorded tomorrow's one for you, Jackie, because he's a massive Steelers fan. And so he said, so I told him Jackie was going to be, like, you were going to be on. He was like, I'm going to do a little shout out for her. But he sent both today, and I guess tomorrow's Mental Health or Wellness Wednesdays. But anyway, Fanzo was excited that you were on the show. So
I love him. We've had many conversations about the Steelers. It's always great to see his face.
You know, it was interesting because I've become very good friends with him, and what I realize is his foray, his experience, and his love and commitment for community. You know, as with myself, you know, when I wrote Join the Conversation, how to engage marketing weary consumers with the power of community dialogue and partnership. In a way, it's all brought us to this day, whether it's talk show hosting, whether it's NFTs, you know, whether it's managing, you know, drag artists. It is the truth, and you cannot escape the power of community.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's there were so many people, I think, back in the day, and I can't even put a year on it, who all were part of a community that was around marketing and branding and even customer loyalty. And those folks, I feel like in a sense of community with them for so long. And like, it's taken us a very long time to connect, but it's really wild to think how strong community we had back then. And a lot of people are still tied together.
Yeah, and what I said earlier, your books are just they're absolutely seminal. Citizen marketers. I mean, these are ideas that have stuck. I've always had an affection for strategic, you know, thinkers, let alone marketers. You know, when you know you've written about something that will always be here, that is timeless, that is classic. It's a beautiful feeling, as opposed to the flavor of the month or the fad of the, you know, du jour of wherever the wind's blowing. So
that's very kind of you. Thank you so much for saying that.
I'm geeking out a little bit, but now let's get to the real story. Let's get to bad Photoshop and this crazy story. And it isn't crazy. I don't even know why I'm saying it's crazy. It's just bad Photoshop. But first of all, you have a drag persona, and you've performed in Austin, New York, Vancouver. And when it says, wait, you gave a TEDx talk in drag. Why have I not? Is that true? And if so, why have I never seen it?
I don't know. And also, by the way, there are amazing photos of me in drag that you didn't have to Photoshop that you could have used. And there it is. Oh my God.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There you go. Oh, that's hilarious.
You know, as I was doing this, by the way, I was thinking, what are the odds that Jackie Huba does not have a photograph on the internets about this? And I didn't have to search too hard. But so this is a two-parter, and I'm even going to disappear because I want to give you the stage and not interrupt. I want to know this connection. What is this love for the world of drag? Because it is you have a persona, you've created a company, you've created a nonprofit. It's fantastic. It's fabulous. That is the only word to use. So tell us the past, the present, the future, and when you're done, I'll come back and carry on.
Yeah, it's really funny because I actually mentioned this in my TED talk of like how this kind of pivot happened. And it was, gosh, I think it was about maybe, I don't even know when it was. A number of years ago, I was around 47. So it was probably about 7-8 years ago. And, I'd written these 3 books. I was a speaker, a consultant, a marketer. And I don't know if you want to call it a midlife crisis. There was a moment in my life where I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. There's got to be something bigger in the world I should be doing. I've been, doing marketing for over 20 years. I was getting kind of bored with it, honestly. And also it was funny because I really thought like I couldn't reinvent myself. Look, I'm a middle-aged woman, I don't have the confidence to like just go shift to something else. And at that same time, I literally one night was sitting on the couch, just flipping channels, and I stumbled upon a show called Rupaul's Drag Race. And for anyone who's never watched it, you're missing out on one of the best shows on television. It's a show hosted by Rupaul, arguably the #1 drag queen in the world, who really showed, how these artists get into drag, and it's a competition, right? So he's looking for the next drag superstar to highlight for the world. And I was so fascinated because what they're men on the show who are creating these drag personas, or sort of female presenting, but very confident, very fierce, just really owning who they are. And I was so obsessed with the fact that they could create these personas that were so bold and female presenting. And I'm like, why don't I have as much confidence as these guys are able to create with these personas? So it just fascinated me. And I started studying it and interviewing queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. I just wanted to know everything I could about it. I wanted to do drag so I could understand how to create this persona, how to be this thing. I wanted to get outside of my comfort zone every chance I could get to kind of learn, like, as I've learned, what confidence is really taking action through fear. So I just kept pushing myself into places where it was very scary, and ended up on a TEDx stage in Vancouver in the NHL hockey stadium in front of 5,000 people, telling this exact story about how I found drag and how it instilled confidence in me. And so I wrote this book studying the psychology of like how drag queens do what they do and how we can use that in everyday life, creating this persona to be thank you for that, to really like pull confidence out when we really need it in so many different situations. And that started the drag journey in 2013. And I just, I started doing talks on it, workshops with women entrepreneurs, where we would literally develop a drag persona, have them perform. It was amazing. And so over the years, I just got to meet everyone in the entire drag industry in the US, which is massive because of RuPaul's Drag Race. There are, drag performers are the hardest working entertainers in the entire entertainment industry. And now it's such a huge worldwide phenomenon. There's Drag Race franchises all over the country that these drag artists literally have become celebrities. They're recording artists, they're actors, comedians on an international stage. And they need managers, agents, all of that. And I somehow found my way into managing these folks, and it's just been incredible. So and that's not even the drag off the vote part, which is another thing we can talk about. But that's how I ended up in New York 5 months ago, now managing drag artists. It's been incredible.
It sounds incredible. There are many things I want to go back to, but I want to start off with the most recent thing that you said, which is, and so it just seemed that maybe someone should manage them. You say it so nonchalantly and so effortlessly, and it just seems so natural. So many people are searching for, what do I do next? How do I tell my story? That it just seems, like, I couldn't get a cab or a car when I needed one, so I started Uber. When we look back on our life stories, it always seems so simple. Was it really that simple in terms of saying, I am going to absolutely zag when everyone else is zigging, and I'm just going to be all in on this beautiful new world?
Well, it's funny because I had thought about, like, back when I was still speaking on Monster Loyalty, I was still doing talks, but I was really also researching the drag book as well. And that's when I got to see all of the management that was out there. And I thought, managing drag artists is sorry, my dog is now barking at the neighbor. I look at the management that's out there, and I was like, I could bring a lot to it. I think I might be one of the few managers in our industry who's coming from the corporate side. Most other folks came from sort of nightlife and entertainment. But the pivot that I took was I thought about managing artists a while ago, but then in 2016, we had a presidential election, and I was devastated to find out that 100 million people in the US did not vote in that election. And being a big LGBTQ ally, I found that 1 out of 5 LGBTQ people were not registered to vote even. And so looking at, what was going on with the 2020 election leading up to it, I was just like, I just used to vote. I was never someone who really did a lot to stand up for things I believed in. And so it was such an important election coming up. I was like, I really need, this is crazy that people are not voting. There should be way more people voting. And so in 2019, having never been in politics or never starting a nonprofit, I decided, like, what could I bring to getting more people to vote? And there had never been a national organization where drag artists, and by the way, drag artists were the first people in the 1960s to lead the fight for LGBT rights. I mean, we all remember Stonewall, trans women of color and drag artists leading the fight. So drag has always been political, but yet there was never a national organization to have drag artists at the forefront really helping people, get involved. So I knew a queen from Rupaul's Drag Race, Fifi O'Hara, a good friend of mine. I asked her if she would start it with me, become our first co-chair. And that's kind of how it started. And then in 2020, we had to go digital because, of course, we were all set back with everything that happened in the world. But it's been wild. And this leading up to one of our co-chairs, Britta Filter, actually lost her management in 2020. And that's kind of how it started, because she was looking for new management and she wasn't sure where to go. She wasn't sure what to do. And I was like, Britta, I've worked with you for 8 months. Like, why don't I just be your manager? And that's literally how it started. And so that's when I had to start the firm. And she introduced me to Laguna Blue, another amazing artist who's been on America's Got Talent and The Voice, and nailed it on Netflix. And then another one, Cynthia Lee Fontaine from Austin from Drag Race. And then I just signed 3 new queens from a brand new show that's airing in 2 weeks called Queen of the Universe. It's the first international singing competition for drag artists. It's like American Idol meets drag queens. And so now I have 6. So it's that's sort of how it all came about. And that Drag Out the Vote was kind of the pivot that led me right into managing artists.
Wow. Just I don't normally use the air horn for guests, but when I do, I bring it out for you. It's amazing. And this is the thought that I had when you were talking. Our eyes are open, but can we see, right? Mm-hmm. Our ears are open, but do we hear? It's funny because I have no sense of taste or smell at the moment. But we have all these senses, but are we really taking in everything around us? Are we paying attention? And it seems that instead of you just living your life and being a passenger in your own life, you're able to not just pivot, but you're able to actually pause and pay attention and then take action. And that isn't something that many people can do or do, and it's amazing. And I just think if people are watching this, they can only be inspired by the story. Their story may take them in a completely different direction. You've been able to find a forte. And by the way, I actually think, I don't know Britta Filter personally, but I think I've interacted with Britta Filter on Clubhouse. It's a fantastic name. My God.
She was doing a bunch of stuff on Clubhouse last year, so maybe so.
I think she might have been part of Clubhouse Squares, which was a Hollywood Squares type
She was. I remember that. She was.
And you thought I was just making it up.
That's hilarious. That's right.
I think she did some promos that were on my show. Mm-hmm. Now you went back and you said thank you. Heidi said incredible, greatly put, Joseph. But she actually said something else that you said, which I thought was amazing, which is confidence is taking action through fear. Is that a Huberism, or is it a quote from someone else? It's a beautiful quote. I would love you to unpack that just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know that I made it up, honestly. I did so much research into, why, especially this book has a lot of, I really wrote it for women, honestly. Women have less confidence than men, and that is just all the studies have shown, whether it's nature or nurture. And I knew I wanted to be more confident. I wanted to show women, people in general, how to have more confidence. And so in all my research, I think there was a lot of misconceptions that confidence is a feeling, like, oh, I feel confident. But honestly, it is, it's about moving through the fear. It's about not being afraid to take action. And I think that's where a lot of times people misunderstand what confidence is. And there's arrogance, which is something else. But confidence is like staring fear in the face, but moving towards it anyways. And so in the book, there's all these great things that, I learned a lot of psychology about what it means to take action through fear. And like all of these techniques that you can use through putting on a persona and thinking about yourself as a powerful being. There's one called power priming, where literally you take something that you've done that you were afraid of before that you actually accomplished, even if it was small. And when you have to go do something else, you literally channel that in your head like, oh, I did that scary thing, so I can do this scary thing because I got through that thing. And you just keep building this muscle of keep thinking of like those times when you were confident in the past and took action, and then it propels you to bigger actions.
Power priming. So fear is always with us, but it's managed, it's controlled, it's almost compartmentalized, and we don't want to eradicate it because it keeps us, I guess, humble, and it keeps us alive and alert. But we almost triangulate, knowing where the fear is. It's interesting because you spoke about a drag queen or drag queens as possessing this confidence. There's almost an overconfidence, and I don't mean it in a hubristic way. I mean larger than life. Filled, almost overflowing with fun and with laughter. And then I went and looked for a quote for you. I always try and find a quote. This is the quote that I found for you, which is, there are easier things in life than being a drag queen, but I ain't got no choice. Try as I may, I just can't walk in flats. And that,
amazing.
and that is Harvey Fierstein.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's amazing.
And so to me, there was something else, almost like that outward confidence maybe masking the fear, but yet there's also a sense of identity, as in this is who I am, and by stepping into my truth, I'm gonna be more fulfilled and figure it out on a path which may not be the easiest one, but it is my one.
Yeah, and I'll give you a quote. This is on the cover of the book, and it's a Rupaul quote where he says, the most powerful thing you could ever do is become the image in your own imagination. So it's like, the most powerful thing is imagining what you could do and then becoming that thing, right? And that's how you get through that. And so again, that's like how you can get out. You need to get out your comfort zone many times to achieve that thing that you put up here, right? Like I had thought about being a manager years ago, and for whatever reason, I didn't do it, or it wasn't right time, or I didn't feel confident that I could just go do it and go figure it out. But then later, having gone through all of this whole journey of doing drag and in that TED, you have to go watch my TED talk, because it was literally, I think, the scariest thing I have ever done. Because it was in this giant hockey stadium with 5,000 people with the cranes and the cameras. And what I wanted to do was come out. I had on a wig that looked like this, and underneath it was another wig. And then I had like an outfit that looked like a suit. And I did this whole talk explaining about like personas and how I discovered drag and how it's the ultimate transformation and how you can become the image in your own imagination. And at the very end, I said, my drag persona's name is Lady Trinity. So it's kind of like Lady Gaga and Trinity from The Matrix put together. And I said, as what's interesting now is I can walk into a room and I might be dressed professional like this, but underneath I have Lady Trinity's boldness, and she looks like this. I peeled off the wig, and another wig came on, and I had 4 backup dancers run out, pull off the suit, and all of a sudden, sequin cat suit. We did like a 60-second little drag routine.
Oh my!
But it was petrifying because of all the things that could go wrong. I actually forgot the choreography for about 20 seconds. It was so scary. And at the end of it, I was like, you know what? But I did it. I pulled it off, and I feel like, honestly, if I can do that, I could literally do anything. It was. I will never forget that experience ever. Did
you literally bring the house down, or figuratively, or iteratively? I mean, people must have gone mad.
Yeah, it was so funny because the Twitter account from TEDx Vancouver was like, Jackie Huba just blew our minds. I was like, because on Drag Race, let me tell you, on Drag Race, like, it is a badge of honor to do a wig reveal, and also reveals are huge in drag. And I was like, well, damn it, I'm gonna do the best reveal I can possibly do on a TEDx stage. And I think I'm maybe the only woman like female drag queen who's ever given a TED talk too. So I was like, I gotta make this has to be amazing. So I really put a lot of work into hiring a choreographer, outfitting my dancers, practicing doing the reveal. It was wild. I love stuff like that though. I love like big ideas and then making them happen. I love that kind of stuff.
You know, I do want to say one point about that, which is you took a risk. You were different. You were daring. You were original. You were creative. And as long as you didn't completely suck, there was only upside. Because, I mean, if you had been beyond horrible, then you would have lit up the whole of Twitter for all the wrong reasons. But the reality was the downside was known and mitigated, which is you sucked. You would have, but you didn't. But the upside was limitless, which is memorable, unforgettable, life-changing. I mean, I would take one dollop of embarrassment over 17 heaps of life-changing, unforgettable, transformational moments that come maybe once in a life.
Well, the funny part is, and I say this right in my TED talk, like, you know, I don't have an acting background. I've never taken a dance class in my life. Like, I'm just a self-taught dancer who used to watch, you know, MTV, and I would watch Michael Jackson. So like even in the drag routine, like, I'm obviously not the best dancer, but that's why I have backup dancers who are amazing and they make me look good. But I think my point to everybody was like, you know, look, I literally am out here like being lifted by dancers, like doing the best I can, like trying to show that like you know, I'm not afraid to look a fool. Hopefully I didn't look too much like a fool, but you know, you can do anything you want to do. And yes, I just did a drag routine with backup dancers and I felt like Beyonce at the end of it.
Well, you are my Beyonce tonight. This has been guest number 299, Lady Trinity, author, speaker, entrepreneur, and now manager, talent agency manager extraordinaire. I was looking at the website. I love it. Fiercely You Entertainment. And if you want to find out more about Jackie and specifically her talent management firm, Fiercely You Entertainment, maybe you want to be represented, maybe you want to hire one of her fabulous queens, you now know where to get hold of her. Please buy Fiercely You, especially if you're a woman, because it wasn't written for white males. I'm just, paraphrasing a little bit of editorial license. Be fabulous and confident by thinking like a drag queen. Or actually, if you are a white male, buy the book and then give the book away. So there you go. Right. Drag, if you're ready to drag out the vote, find out how you can get involved, find out more about what Jackie is doing, Jackie and her community, her extended family, to make sure that every single person is fairly, equitably, and equally represented. We don't want 2 votes per person. We just want 1. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. You can connect with Jackie on Twitter at Jackie Huba, and you can follow her on Instagram at Jackie Huba. Jackie, if you wouldn't mind, just hang out in the green room for a moment while we bring on our creator, and then come back and we can hang for a little bit longer.
Sounds great.
Take care. Well, that was Jackie Huba, and now it is time for our creator. I am having so much fun, and why wouldn't I? But it is now time to bring on Tanya Seoul, and a little bit about Tanya. She hails from Enid, Oklahoma. She moved to Oklahoma City Metro at age 12. She started singing at age 3. She started writing songs by age 14 and has since released 2 EPs and looking to release her next album in 2022. And I am proud to say she's releasing My Surprise today, and you can buy it wherever digital music is sold. Let's say hello to Seoul, Tanya Seoul. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
I hope you've been enjoying the show in the green room.
Yes, I have. I learned a lot about what drag racing and confidence. I love what she was talking about. It was amazing.
It's amazing, and Jackie will be back soon. But now it is all about you, Tanya. I am going to disappear and give you an opportunity to just introduce the song. It debuts today. It's amazing. It drops today on Joseph Jaffe is Not Famous.
Thank you. This song is titled My Surprise, and I wrote it for the lovebirds out there, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. And let's just get into it. I wrote the music and the lyrics, and I'm performing it for you now. And by the way, my name is Tanyé SøL. Well, give me just a moment, and I gotta make sure that.
And while you get it, I will correct myself. Tanyé. We were just. There's too much discussion of Kanye. That was my problem.
Oh yeah, it's all right. I think I got it together now. So I'm gonna, without further ado, go ahead and serve you guys a song.
Go for it.
I don't normally do this, so be glad that you're getting this treatment. You're worth my love and trust, right? Don't let me down, now turn around. Come into my burger box, I'll be your sight. You won't be needing it tonight, 'cause I'm taking you through the dark passages. Listen to these passages of love. You're gonna see the light tonight. Oh, I got a surprise for you. You're gonna be blindfolded. This is what you want. This is what you need. Got your eyes closed now. You're gonna be blindfolded. And you're gonna like, you're gonna like my surprise, my surprise, my surprise, my surprise. And you're gonna like, you're gonna like my surprise, my surprise, my surprise. Welcome to my little baby, take a chance, gonna enhance you. Picture of femininity to your masculinity. Hold my hand, I'll be there, listen to my voice. It's a good choice for me to lead the way, don't be afraid. Only good things in store for my baby. It's okay though. I can be a beast in between these sheets. Monster, stay away. Follow me, baby. I need to make you understand just why you get this loving. I got a surprise for you, baby. You're gonna be blindfolded. Like my surprise, my surprise, my surprise, yeah. Don't think I didn't listen whenever you mention what you've been wishing. My intention is to keep you tempted. Reminiscing about this kid and don't get hidden away from love. I can lift you up, hold up the cup. We never fail. With a love like this, don't dismiss romantic bliss. I insist that you swallow my gratitude for having you in my life. Baby, you're 1 in a million. Baby, you're gifted, and I can't hide my feelings. Oh, yeah. You need my surprise, baby. Baby, you're gonna like, baby, yeah. My surprise, baby. My surprise. My surprise. Oh yeah, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. Yeah. Love you guys. Thank you for allowing me to sing.
Well, thank you, and congratulations. It's, you know, I just think to myself, well, first of all, it doesn't matter what I think. Jackie, what did you think? And now the three of us are together.
Amazing. I love sitting in my living room and be able to hear some an amazing singer. So thank you for that. It was fantastic.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun, you know, and when you're talking about personas, I think of so many people that, you know, their persona is something that like really gave them that extra star power and, you know, the ability to influence the people around them, but certainly whole generations, like, you know, big people like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, or Madonna. She reinvented herself so many times, and Janet Jackson. It's the list that keeps on going. I mean, Prince. I mean, come on, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And like exactly what you're doing. Like if you were on a stage, I mean, the persona of being a singer and you know, that's not something how you'd be in everyday life. But when you're up on the stage, that is just like, we all have so many different personas we put on as a performer. Like, I know you know this, like, because entertainers, that is what you do, is you put on a persona that entertains and that has presence and that can hold the stage.
Yes. And with the stage and costumes and dancers and, you know, just the whole experience is something else that we get to, you know, do on stage that we don't necessarily have when we're, you know, communicating like through virtual communications. So.
Mm-hmm.
And there you are. I mean, you're at home. It must be so hard to always lift yourself, right? And bring, you know, we all want to bring our A games all the time, but it's also hard when we're, you know, sequestered at home to be able to still deliver that energy, you know, and that emotion and that impact. And I certainly think you did that with your presence, with your smile, you know, and with your creativity. I mean, you wrote this all yourself. I mean, you know, it always strikes me. I mean, what do you think is the difference between a singer-songwriter who writes all their material, an original song? You always see, like when you watch people on TV, whether it's The Voice, whether it's American Idol, whether it's, you know, America's Got Talent. You always worry when someone comes and says this is an original song, and we shouldn't. We should say the exact opposite. We should give them extra credit, an extra grade, right? An extra kudos for creating something from nothing, something truly original.
It's something about having a familiarity. Like that's why a lot of people suggest, like, there's a couple of secrets to like performing. if you are able to catch somebody with something that's popular, maybe like 15, 30 seconds of that right before you go into your actual original music, I see that kind of invites the crowd to get to know more about you, compared to, and even big artists, they still do that stuff. I mean, it's a formula that you can just kind of see happen. You might hear a Beyonce sing a little bit of Lauryn Hill or a little bit of a Whitney Houston song. And that's another thing too about being a singer and a songwriter, because being a songwriter, it takes the developing stages of a song. I mean, you might just have a melody in your head. You might just have like, just a bass line that you heard in your mind. And then you're developing all the parts on top of it. But there's people, and I keep on going back to Whitney Houston just because I know that she didn't write a whole lot of her songs. She didn't. She sang so beautifully that she could sing, the telephone book to anybody. And so those people really inspire me as well, just to, match their pizzazz and just awesomeness sometimes. And well, no, a lot of times she's one of my big influences. There's a lot of people that are influencing, but I said that to say that it doesn't matter necessarily if you can write your own songs, if you can interpret and express the song as fully as it could be in your way, because nobody's Whitney. Everybody has to be them in their lane, but how they do it and they express it can be super awesome. Like, I've heard Gwen Stefani cover a song before, and she did it her own way, and it was just super awesome. And that's the beauty of music and self-expression, and reaching into that persona, of who you are as an artist. And I commend you, Miss Jackie, for being bold enough to put yourself out there, because a lot of people that don't perform on a regular basis just don't have the gusto to just do it. And I really want to see the clip from that. Like, I think it would be cool.
Thank you so much.
I was actually trying to watch it at one point. You may have heard at some point a weird sound, Jackie, while I was talking to you. It's because I had another tab open. I was like, I got to watch this. I got to watch this TEDx talk now. No, I'm not going to wait, damn it, until after this as well. So now I'm thinking maybe we have to change Lady Trinity to Miss Jackie. I kind of like Miss Jackie. Miss Jackie, that could be another persona.
There you go.
So Tanyé, I got her right. Tanya is such a South African name as well. So Tanyé. I want to say one thing as well. By the way, Manif said using covers to open the door to new audiences, really, really smart. And one of the things that I had someone on my show, I think it was Bruce Turkel, but I could be wrong, or it may have been. Got to remember his name. How could I forget? But Mark, I'll remember in a moment. He's Pink's drummer. And we were talking about cover songs, and he said something so amazing. He said, when you go, whether it's, we're talking about Neil Diamond or Coldplay, like whomever it is, you're going there and they're there to basically promote their latest album. Now, you probably know one song at best in the new album, but what they do is they earn your permission, and they get that by giving you the cover. So by giving you the cover of the song that they wrote 5 years, 10 years, 20 years ago, the song that they've performed thousands and thousands of times, that's the value exchange. And by giving you that cover, because you came for the cover and you want to be able to sing it, it gives them license to give you 2 or 3 songs from the new album. And so it is a beautiful, almost like give and take relationship, the whole concert. With and whether it is just the oldie but the goodie, or a cover, they're giving you both of them in order to kind of get that permission to give you some of the stuff that you're not going to know and not going to be able to sing along.
Yes, but it's always a vulnerable thing when you present new music. It really is. But it definitely does open a doorway to invite the audience into something new from you, you know, that recreation, that remake of enjoyment that they felt before, you know, from your previous music or from a cover you might have did. So.
Well, I have to say we are on the hour, but I have my homework to do. First of all, I've got to go out and buy your new song, and I'm going to go and do that. So please go out and buy My Surprise. It drops today. I've never been able to say that. It drops today on your favorite music streaming service. Hopefully it doesn't break when it drops. I always wonder why they say drops. It seems so sudden. And Tanya, good luck with everything. Jackie, it was so great to reconnect. Let's do it in person sometime. And I don't know why, but I feel like I want to continue this conversation and figure out how I can participate. It does not mean me getting dressed up, but it does mean being able to help, especially on your very noble mission, which is to make sure that people that have been underrepresented when it comes to voting have that right. As an immigrant myself, it is the ultimate gift and the ultimate right. No one should take it away from us.
That's right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. And the last word always goes to Chuck Norris. What does he have to say about drag queens and about new singles dropping?
You are Chuck Norris approved.
Here we go. And I will be back tomorrow with guest number 300. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the show about hope, positivity, optimism, and if there's time left over, a little bit of marketing with your host, multiple author and global keynote speaker, Joseph Jaffe. If you like the show, tell a friend or two. Please subscribe to the show. And if you want to get inside news, previews of upcoming guests, and much more, visit josephjaffe.com/subscribe to sign up for the show's newsletter.
And despite the best ministrations of your wife, you still look ugly.